Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut. You made it spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, welcome back to the Baseball Hut 3. And hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So we're going to talk about Michael K, as we like to call him, or I like to call him, Michael Not Okay. It's almost like we do a wellness check on Michael because he has these meltdowns and he says these crazy things. And really, and it's funny, whenever you read these things on X, and people put out these articles about whatever Not Okay says or anybody, well, who's he? You know, they don't sort of, it's always the same weird accounts, specifically on X. You get these accounts that come out of nowhere, they have no following, but they're always writing to people. If you're always writing to people, you think you'd have like a following. It's very strange. But Michael Not Okay had some things to say about legendary coach Tony Dungy. Obviously, he's a guy that won a Super Bowl, I believe, with the Buccaneers, and a very good coach. But he hasn't coached in a long time. He's an analyst in the NFL. And as you know, Michael K, Not Okay, has a program, a sports program on ESPN that he used to have the afternoon drive. He doesn't have that anymore. Basically, he's the mid guy. He's not in the morning. He's not in the afternoon. He's the midday guy. So I think he's getting up there in age. He just can't handle the work. So he basically broke up that team that he had. Those two poor guys, Don LaGreca and Peter Rosenberg, were able to sort of get away from Michael Not Okay. They're doing okay, I guess. Headline from Barrett Media. Michael K. I would have fired Tony Dungy for not discussing Hall of Fame vote on NBC Sports. Okay? If I'm NBC, I'd fire him on the spot. We're paying you whatever amount of money we're paying you. You are discussing it. Okay? Michael K. did not mince words when reacting to NBC Sports analyst Tony Dungy declining to discuss his Pro Football Hall of Fame vote during Super Bowl coverage on NBC Sports. K reflected on the moment as one that sparked fresh debate about transparency, media responsibility, and accountability among high-profile analysts. Now, here's a couple of things. I think the NFL keeps it to where it's secret. Okay? I have no problem with that. In MLB, in the major leagues, Major League Baseball, it used to be secret, but it's not secret anymore. And you can discuss it if you want. Excuse me. But the only thing I have an issue with, and it is, you don't have to discuss it if you don't want to, if you're a media person. The one thing I don't like in Major League Baseball lately is like if you vote against a player, okay, that you don't think deserves to get in the first time, you get berated. There's obviously that one person that didn't vote for, Ichiro a few years ago, and Ichiro, and he did it very much in a comical way, but the media went after this person, and it's like, well, if it's anonymous, you're doing it anonymously, why are you getting on the guy? If he doesn't have to talk about it, why you browbeating him? And to be honest with you, why is Michael K browbeating Tony Dungy? During Monday's Michael K show on ESPN New York, K expressed disbelief that Dungy, who serves as both a Hall of Fame voter and a paid television analyst, would refuse to address a decision tied directly to one of the most polarizing storylines of football. That storyline centered on Bill Belichick not being elected as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Quote, Tony Dungy, again, who's getting paid by NBC, was asked on the never-ending pregame show whether or not he voted for Bill Belichick, Case said. He said he's not going to discuss it. First of all, if I'm NBC, I fire him on the spot. We're paying you whatever amount of money we're paying you, you're discussing it. Well, that's not right. I mean, if he has a job, one job I don't think can intimidate you from another job. Kay framed the issue less as a personal disagreement and more of a professional contradiction. From his perspective, Dungy's refusal undermined the very purpose of his role as on a national broadcast. Kay questioned the value proposition for networks when analysts declined to engage on consequential topics. In his view, refusing to speak does not protect credibility. Instead, it erodes trust with the audience, particularly when the subject involves a historic decision. The frustration did not stop there. Kay also challenged what he perceived as a disconnect between Dungy's long-standing public image and his silence in this moment. While acknowledging Dungy's reputation as a respected figure in football circles, Kay suggests that avoiding scrutiny only intensified the backlash. Nobody cares. Other than not okay. I don't care. Who cares? Quote, I don't get Tony Dungy's game, Kay said. Supposedly a good guy, God-fearing man, you do something that is a big part of history. You keep the greatest coach of all time from being a first ballot Hall of Famer, and you don't have the guts to discuss it. Kay added that declining to explain the vote made the situation worse rather than diffusing it. He argued that transparency, even when uncomfortable, often strengthens credibility. Silence, however, invites speculation and criticism. Now, let me ask you a question. Is that important? I don't think he's the greatest coach of all time. He's the winningest coach of all time. And I think Vince Lombardi's the greatest coach of all time. And your host, humble opinion, But, does is that is that little firecracker that Belichick is that's gonna make a big difference? No. That hoochie mama that he's with. No. Dungy, who works as an analyst for NBC Sports, has not publicly expanded on his decision beyond declining to comment on the air. The Hall of Fame voting process allows voters to keep ballots private, a rule that many media members have cited in defense of Dungy's stance. Quote, it just doesn't make sense to me, said Not Okay. Really bad for a guy who has pretty much a pristine reputation. Does not come out looking good with this. Oh, please. It's not that important. Not okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's going to be all right. Let me give you some advice. At the end of the day, none of this stuff's important. Okay? All this is a distraction from the evil that surrounds us all. And all that stuff is not okay. But guy not getting in, like I said, that little hoochie mama that he's with, do you think she cares if he's in the Hall of Fame or not? She's hoping that this doofus marries her, and then when he croaks, let's be honest, and he croaks, that she'll get all his money. That's it. That's the ultimate goal for that young lady. And he gets a little hey, what's up with that? What's up wrong with that? She laughs at his jokes. I don't think they've ever heard Bill Belichick tell a joke. You ever heard him tell a joke? Nope. But it makes him happy. So you know what? That's the most important thing. And this thing about going after Tony Dungy, if he's a good man, why are you giving him a hard time? On your little program that nobody really listens that much to. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut 3. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.